Welcome to My Dark Japan podcast.
Episode number 14.
So welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for coming again, Taka.
My pleasure.
And Chen is back. She's never really left. So something that people don't know about Taka is that he used to work in a restaurant as a chef.
He's pro at cooking.
1, 2, 3, 4. I've got my greens and I'm cooking with Dave. So grab your pots and come cooking with Dave. We're cooking with Dave. Just pro at cooking. You wanna cook, so come cooking with Dave.
That is this show about pro gamers, and they have a segment that's called Pro at Cooking with Dave, and he's pro at cooking. So I feel like Taka is also pro at cooking.
No.
We have watched him cook many times. It always looks delicious, smells wonderful, and I found out recently that he worked at the restaurant. How was it? Where was it? What was it?
Oh, okay. Italian restaurant.
Oh, interesting. Did you like it?
I liked it a lot. And there, I learned how to make focaccia.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
It's Italian bread.
Oh, okay.
with like garlic, onion, basil,
No, okay, sounds good.
and pizza.
Yeah, Taka also bakes bread very often. It's amazing.
Is it?
Is it?
I've been working there for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I went to Canada as a working holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And there, working at a Japanese restaurant.
Hey.
Have you cooked poutine? Do you know poutine?
Ah, yes.
Poutine is a famous...
Put the cheese on the French fry
Yes.
and then put it in the oven again.
Yes.
Well, that sounds good.
It's just
Canadians love it.
yeah.
It's from the Canadian movie podcast that I got the Canadian accent from. Of the books and the boots and so they love poutine. Every time they talk about Canada and going to the movies at the cinema, they always get poutine. After that, other restaurants also.
I can come back to Japan and work at izakaya.
Oh, nice. That's great.
And
How was it compared to Italian restaurant and Canadian restaurant?
there is no like proper recipe, just just the frozen one and just deep fry it. So it's not proper food. I don't know.
So if you don't know what an izakaya is, it's a typical Japanese bar where you sit at the counter, talk to people, you get small snacks and you get drunk. So you always worked behind the counter, like cooking? You never served customers?
I also served
How was that?
dropped glasses.
Really? You're clumsy.
I didn't know how to hold the tray.
I thought they had training for like the waiters.
No,
and stuff.
they
What?
didn't.
You told us that once your boss kicked your ass or something?
Ah, at bar, yes, I was manager at the bar.
Okay.
What? Like he actually like
No.
kicked you?
Yeah.
What? Why?
Because
Wow.
I went to throw trash away,
Yeah.
the behind, and which was so heavy, and then I'd say, oh, it was heavy, which
Yeah.
means in Japanese, shindo in Kansai accent.
So it can have other meanings too, or?
Yeah, tired. You know, saying I'm tired is unacceptable in Japan.
Yeah.
In society. So he was really angry, and
So did he actually punch you or
no,
slap
he
you?
just kicked me.
He kicked
Like
you?
really kicked you
My
like
ass.
in the nuts?
That's awful. I'm
That's
so sorry.
terrible.
So you kept working there after that, or did
No,
you
I
quit?
just left. What?
Well, since you left, you should have kicked him in the ass too.
No.
You should have. You left anyway.
It's also unacceptable in Japan.
Yes, I was too Japanese.
So you have
I'm still Japanese though.
So you have learned many useful tricks at the restaurants. The one trick I noticed is that you make a lot of stock and you freeze it in a plastic box.
Yes.
And then you microwave it.
Yes.
And pour a bit of the stock in the food.
Yes.
It's such an interesting trick.
It's not trick. I do it because I just don't want to waste.
Yeah, you don't waste anything. Is there any food you learned at one of the restaurants? Any recipe you learned at the restaurants? Or something easy, like you can cook quickly? And now you like to make that or do that?
Oh, that sauce that I showed.
Oh, yeah.
you, the Japanese soy sauce.
Mm-hmm. It's for meat and vegetables too?
Yes, anything.
Do you remember what do you put in it?
Soy sauce, Japanese alcohol, sake,
Mm-hmm.
leek,
Mm-hmm.
ginger paste, garlic paste, and sesame oil.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the exact proportion.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You can just... It sounds really nice.
Yeah,
so
it does.
if you want to try some exotic tastes, Taka's pro at cooking, so...
Yeah, he's pro.
I'm pro at cooking.
So, on this episode, just quickly, I wanted to go through some feedback. Finally, we got back some listener interaction. So one comment was that they really liked... So on the episode with Taylor, they said they liked the mascots, and there is a video about mascots, and Taylor, in the meantime, started a new podcast about comic books with 2 other friends. So if you are into comic books, you can try his podcast, which they made 3 episodes in a week. And it's called Tokyo Comic Attack. You can look at the link in the notes. And one more thing was that I experimented in episode 11 and 12. At the start, there are timestamps, so like 20-second overview of what's in the episode. Some people like it, some people hate it. So if you liked it, tell us, please. It's like content of the episode of the podcast. So on this episode, we are planning to talk about music a lot, and also miniature talking beans, and suspicious suspension, Suspiria, succession fish.
You all could have seen Filip's lips just now.
Language quirk.
We have been learning Japanese very intensely, and also while cooking we have been learning Japanese, and we found that there is a very specific thing about fish in Japanese. It's called
Succession fish. Wait, someone around to say right. The succession fish.
suction fish.
Succession.
Suck.
Too much S.
The suck fish.
It's suck because it's succession fish.
Okay, suck.
Suck.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you have to watch Pure Ownage. It's a show about pro gaming and people who are pro at cooking. Okay, so one of the fish that is very interesting or very popular in Japan is tuna. Usually people say maguro. And we found out that there is about 5 different terms for the same fish, depending on the age of the fish. So, Taka has prepared some notes.
Okay. It starts from tuna, right?
Okay.
Tuna has 3 generations. Like
Okay.
in
Yeah.
business, how do you call the position, right?
Senpai tuna. Senior senpai tuna.
I don't know. There are 3 types of tuna.
Okay.
The lowest one called Mameshibaaaa,
That's the youngest.
youngest.
Okay.
Do they say how old?
It's not described.
Okay, never mind.
But it's called by size, not age, but
Okay.
size. And next go Omeji. And finally, that then becomes Honmaguro, which is like over 2 meter.
Huge tuna.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really big.
Yeah.
So what other fish are also succession fish? How many fish?
So if you will see a much popular one called buri. If you order sashimi in Japan, you would have hamachi.
Okay.
What is that? What is
It's
that?
the
A
same
tuna?
fish.
Other fish.
So there's buri, and then it
It
becomes
starts from
hamachi.
wakashi,
Okay.
inada, warasa, buri.
All the same
four,
fish.
yes,
Buri is the oldest.
yes.
What kind
So
of
the
fish
youngest
is
one is less than 50 centimeter. Next goes to 40. And third, 60. And the buri is over 80 centimeter.
Hmm.
But how many succession fish are there?
8.
Before we talked about strange sounds people say in Japanese and strange grammar and things like that. So today strange words. So different ages of the same fish. And Chen was studying Japanese and she found a very specific strange term that made us laugh a lot.
Which one?
It was a body. So she was learning about body parts.
Yeah.
And you got to learn about breasts, of course.
Yeah, but not for sexual purposes. It was just I wanted to know. I have boobies, so I needed to know. So in Japanese, the word for breast is actually quite an insult in English. You literally say like milk sack.
So can you say that
It's
Japanese?
like I don't remember what I just remember the kanji. Yeah, in English, milk sack is like one of the worst things you can call a breast. But in Japanese, that's just the word. It's
Chibusa?
yeah, milk sack. So the translation is bad, but it's the appropriate term. But then,
Yes, you'd think it's enough, but there's more.
so in Japanese, the word was it kubi is neck.
Yeah.
Kubi. So like your neck, like your actual neck is kubi, but if you want to say like your wrist, it's like tekubi, like your hand neck, and then you have your like your ankle is like your foot neck. But your milk sack has a neck, and that's your nipple. Milk sack neck in Japanese. The funniest thing I've ever heard. So the next time you want to give someone a purple nurple,
For you it's normal, but for us it's...
but the next time you want to give someone a purple nurple, you just grab those milk sack necks as hard as you can and you twist.
So how do you say that in Japanese?
Chikubi.
Shikubi?
Chikubi.
Chikubi.
Kubi.
Okay.
That's the neck.
Okay.
That's your nipple.
Yeah.
That's your milk sack neck.
So that's chikubi, and then what's the breasts?
Chibusa, right?
Chibusa, okay.
Yeah.
Important vocabulary in this
Yeah,
episode.
very,
Yeah.
very
And the round part, we have also
What is it called? What is it? I gotta know.
Nyurin,
What does that mean?
What is the characters?
The characters.
the milk
And
and ring.
just like so hopefully all you guys out there or girls, I hope you have very nicely shaped milk rings under your milk sacks and that your milk sack necks are nicely perky and shaped as well.
What happened last week? So this time on news, I'd like to talk about how stupid I am, because after 1 year of living in Japan, you'd think I would be a little bit less incompetent. But the other day, about 1-2 months ago, I was on the train and I was reading a book and I realized I'm going in the wrong direction because I was just reading a book. So I got off at the station and I crossed the whole platform to the other side and waited while reading a book and got on the other train. Only to realize when the train left the station, it's a super extra rapid commuter express train. So I was successfully going in the wrong direction, but faster. because some platforms, some stations in Japan, they have 2 platforms in the same station. You can just cross on the other side, and it goes the opposite direction. But sometimes it's the same direction, but a faster train. So, so never mind. So at this moment, I realized that it's not Japan, it's me. It's never going to change. So about 2 months ago, we went on a trip together, and we stayed at a place, and I tried to open some doors. I couldn't open any doors.
What?
And I'd like to show you some videos how I try to open doors. And it's always a struggle. Like every time you
I remember that one.
I even complained to Taka.
I never saw this. What
This is a real thing that bothers me a lot. Every time you travel to a new country, Douglas Adams famously talks about this in his book and his lectures, that every time you go, there's like, it could be simple, but people always invent something more difficult, more complicated and more extra. So if you want to use the faucet on the airport, do you push it? Do you pull it? Do you turn it? Do you knee it? Do you kick it? Do you elbow it? I don't know. So in Japan, it happened with doorknobs. So let's look at doorknob number 1. We have a video. So somebody should describe what you see. So what do you see on the video?
It looks like an old style door handle,
It's like bent down.
Yeah.
So what would you do with this doorknob?
I thought don't you just push it down?
So you push it down. So here's me on the video pushing it down, trying to open the fucking door, and then you pull it up.
What? Why do you pull it up?
I don't know.
Maybe upside down, you know.
So then you go
That's
to.
why knob goes up.
So then you go to.
Now it's the same door handle but inverted.
So now second video, the same door handle inverted. What do you with this one? That's a question.
Push down, I guess.
So let's see what you do. I push down, and yes, it opened. But it's locked. So bad luck. Okay, let's move on to door number 3, which is the most complicated. I'm not sure if you can see this. So there's like a
This is the popular one.
This is like a long part, and there's like a
Like a button?
like a
knob,
button.
Yeah, you have to press it.
What the fuck? Why would you press the button?
Press the
Your
pull.
button, yeah.
It's so that your door doesn't fly open when it's windy or something. You push
It's
it and it unlocks.
So it's a
sort of.
vertical like stick that you hold, and then you pull it or push it or something. It doesn't do shit.
No,
so
you
have
pull
to
it and
push
push.
a part above it with your thumb.
That's a normal door.
I've never seen this in my life. I'm like, what am I doing?
That's
What?
why your houses get broken
so it's
into.
like... Okay. So I had no idea what I was doing with this. So after that, let me show you a video about toilets.
So you can't ride trains, you can't open doors,
And
and you
I
can't
can't
use
flush the toilet for the life of me. I can't flush the toilet. So this is video footage.
Wow, bravo.
This is
Welcome to Japan.
This is video footage of me trying to flush a toilet at a public bathroom. So what do you try to do first? You have this. So what do you do with this? What does it look
You
like?
put your hand in front of it.
So it's like a scanner thing, and you should like wave your hand or touch it. Do you touch it? Do you wave your hand?
You put
No,
your
just
hand in front, you just make it no light.
Oh, okay. So you should cover the sensor with your hand. So what do? I put my hand on it. I wave my hand. I touch it. Nothing.
You did
Nothing
it too
happens.
fast.
You just hold
yes.
and
I hold
cover
it.
it
Okay.
for a while.
Yeah.
So I move on to another approach. What do? I look here. It's a bunch of pipes. I push something. No, it doesn't do it. Then there's like a thing on the front and thing on the side. I push both. Then
Those
doesn't.
are stoppers, and that's a screw.
Okay, doesn't do anything. So then there's another sensor. So there is
What
one.
does it?
There is one like on the side of the toilet that you can wave your hand on, and it's the same sensor on top of the toilet, and it's white. The other one is black. So I suppose you should also like wave your hand on this. Okay, so what do?
Uh-huh.
I put my hand on it. I wave my hand. Doesn't do shit. The toilet doesn't flush, and there's given 2 sensors. There's one at the top and one at the bottom. So none of them work. So what do? You try the other one, doesn't work, and then there's a thing on the toilet seat.
Oh my god, that's
So
a bad idea.
That's so you have to push it to get your like vaginal sprays and stuff. So
Oh
yeah.
wow.
So I know I shouldn't push that. I know, so don't push it. And then there is this small little button hidden, and you push that, and finally
Yeah, that's a normal flush button.
you flush.
Oh.
That's a normal
my
flush
God.
button.
Oh my god. So it was like attempt number 5.
You see, just cover the sensor.
You can't go like this. You just go like.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That was me flushing the toilet.
so Japan travel tip: just put your hand above it and don't move until it flushes.
Japan travel tip: just don't be Filip. You'll be okay. Everyone's fine.
So one more story about me. I go running very often, and last week I went running again. So every time I go running in Japan, I've talked about this many times before on other episodes, I always scare people. Sometimes I scare people because I fart. Sometimes I scare people because I'm sweaty and red. Sometimes I scare people because I run too fast at them. And I always go running in the night. Very often, not always, because it's cooler and I like being active in the night. So this time it was during the day. But I was very lazy and I felt very slow and very sleepy. And I tried to get some adrenaline going. I tried to go faster. I tried to wake up because I was doing my 15-kilometer run. And
Took off your shirt.
If only that had been that's a reasonable thing, right?
didn't take off my shirt, but I stopped for a tea break. That's what I do while I run. I have a middle of the run tea break, and I bought extra strong, deep green tea. It was very strong. I got some blood going, some adrenaline going, and then it started to be really windy, and it blew against me, and I was trying to run, but it was really strong wind and it was stopping me, so I had to really push through, and it was really difficult. I was really tired. So I put on the headphones and I listened to some heavy metal music just to boost my motivation. And I was doing and some people just stopped. Other people who were running, when the wind started blowing, it stopped. But I was just doing this. Just the wind's not going to stop me. And then you run on the other side of the river. There is it's a little bit higher, and when it goes up to the street, to the road, there is a higher place where the wind is the strongest, and you have to run uphill, and the wind gets progressively stronger when you go uphill. And already the wind was blowing. Already I was tired, and already I was intense motions with my hands going up the hill. So I leaned forward, and I had to really fast push through the wind and just run up the hill. And some people on the top of the hill were trying to resist the wind, so they turned around and they saw me running up the hill. And when they turned around, it was exactly the same moment. I was and they backed off a little bit. They got a little scared, but nothing happened. So I think this is how an urban legend starts, because I go running often, and I go every time in the evening, and it's a much taller person who's much more red, much more sweaty, much faster, and does weird motions, because you know how Japanese people run, and I run nothing like that.
So they're gonna start the legend of the Red Man. Have you seen the Red Man?
Yes.
He's fast as lightning, and he can cut you with his arms.
That's it, exactly.
He just runs real fast and slices you.
And he comes at night.
The Red Man.
So that's gonna be me.
Japanese music.
So in the next part, we'd like to quickly discuss Japanese music. We have found our new favorite band with Chen. Taka likes it too, I think.
Yeah.
It's called Uchikubi Gokumon Doko Kai.
Yes.
Wow.
Better pronunciation, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So Uchikubi.
Uchikuge Gokumon Doko Kai.
So this is a Japanese rock band that wants to express everyday feelings such as delicious food, tooth decay, or happiness in the bath, using very funny lyrics. And they say that they advocate the genre of living in the moment and loud rock. So I love it. We have listened to this a lot on our road trip. And I think it's like, when I was learning English, I really loved Weird Al Yankovic. He does parody songs. And I was really happy when I understood the weird stories and like jokes he has in the music.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my first time I understood something in a Japanese song, because it's very simple and very, very funny to me at least. So I'd like to go through some of the best songs. The first song that I saw from this was very famous some years ago on the internet. If you searched for Cold Penguin, you would find this song. It's got millions of views on the internet.
Oh.
And in the full version of the song, it's called I Don't Want to Get Out of My Futon. So what is the song about?
It's about this cute little penguin, and it's the struggle. I understand his struggle, okay? I'm a person that's always cold. And his bed is nice and warm, and he doesn't really want to get up, but he's got to get up and start his day. So he pulls back the futon, and he sits up, and he's like, it's cold! And he gets back under the covers, and then he's like singing about, it's way too cold to get up.
Yeah. I really like this song because it's really relaxing. It's like a guitar playing and like a relaxing tone, and he's saying like, now I have to get out, and then it's cold. In Japanese it would be like denakcha ikenai, futon kara denakcha ikenai, futon kara denakcha ikenai,寒い.
布団から出てなんだこりゃ寒い
And then you find that it's not the only song that they have. They also have the Hot Penguin song.
Yay!
The name is Natsu no Uta, which is the summer song.
Okay.
We've also heard this many times. And it's the same story, but not in the winter, but in the summer. A cute penguin is waking up. Yeah.
But he goes outside, and like he's been in a nice air-conditioned room, and he gets outside, he's like, Atsui! Yabai!
So Atsui means hot, and yabai, if you listened to some of the other episodes, we talked about it.
Awesome,
very
intense.
common word. It's very intense. So I looked at the lyrics, and he opens the air-conditioned room or the window, and he starts, in a heavy metal voice, he starts screaming, blazing sun, hot asphalt, everything is moist, oh my god! So then he goes to a cafe, cools down, and then it happens again. That's your life in Japan, basically.
ただ音じゃないこの部屋守ってたいや今夜ないでも行かなくちゃもう外出なきゃまあキリッとすれば多分大丈夫さっきは不意をつかれただけきっとめっきゃくすれば
So just quickly, other songs I really liked. I was listening to a song and it starts, it's like metal music, like headbanging music, and somebody screams, wah wah, wah wah, wah wah. And I was like, what is this song about? And then they start screaming, Maguro, Maguro.
Yeah, Maguro song.
And then they scream, Maguro no sashimi.
Yeah.
So Maguro is tuna and sashimi is the food, so that's my favorite Japanese food.
Maguro no sashimi
not only that, they go through all the favorite Japanese dishes in a heavy metal voice. Well, you can listen to some rock music. It's perfect.
I like the kinoko.
And one more song
Do
I
you
want to
know the
mention.
kinoko one?
No.
We have to listen later.
Kinoko, do you know those sweets?
It's
like
like
a
a
mushroom.
chocolate candy mushroom.
あ、キノコの山。
Yeah. And then there's another one
Takenoko no
that they're
sato.
like,
Yes.
yeah. There's a song about how they're rivals. Yeah. And there's even a video of their like cartoons and they're fighting each other.
No, it's
In general, we talk about it.
yeah.
Yeah, which one do you like?
Yeah.
Well, they have it shows like a boss battle
Yeah.
they're fighting.
Have you
each
eaten
other.
both of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Recently, because of the song,
Yeah.
we tried.
I like the
okay.
Kinoko
Me too.
Yama one. That one's
So the
better.
one that looks like a mushroom.
Yeah,
It
the
looks like
Kinoko
a chocolate
Yama.
mushroom with the stem or with the leg being like a crunchy biscuit. And the other one is like the
the chocolate
growing.
horn inside out.
No, it's a bamboo sprout.
Yeah.
But when it starts growing, it's very thick and looks like a cone. So it's bamboo sprout, that's chocolate, and inside it's like a biscuit. It's the same thing, but different shape.
But isn't
No,
like
it's
the same? It's
Texture
different
of
taste.
the cookie is
Exactly.
different.
Okay.
Which one do you like?
Takenoko, the bamboo sprout.
Ah, Team Takenoko.
Yeah.
Now you blew it. You're Team Kinoko.
That's how intense
And the
mine and
kids
Philip's
would
hand.
enjoy eating the
touches.
kinoko mushroom one.
Yeah.
The first of all, like licking the chocolate part, and joining after eating chocolate and the crunchy biscuit.
So you all laughed at me about Oreos, but you're supposed to lick and enjoy the cream, and then you dip the chocolate and you
Okay.
eat
We
it.
don't dunk.
Yeah.
into the milk.
But you still, you take some licking time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoy.
Okay.
We do sometimes for Pocky too.
What? Really?
Yeah, licking the
know.
chocolate part.
That makes sense.
Okay. That does make sense.
If you don't know, Pocky is a stick with chocolate on top of it, and you can just lick it, I guess. Okay. Alright, so we highly recommend listening to Uchikubi Gokumon Dokokai. Does it mean anything?
Uchikubi means head off.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Head off?
Yes.
Like cut your head off?
Like decapitated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Decapitate Gokumon.
It's hell.
So decapitate hell do ko kai.
Isn't that a
It's
club?
group. Yeah.
Group.
Club. Yeah.
Decapitate Hell Club.
Even
or
better.
Decapitated Hell Club. You listen to it. It's awesome.
I didn't even know.
That's great.
Uchikubi is not like typical Japanese. It's an old one, like more than like 400 or 500 years ago, to punishing him. You know?
That's wonderful.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
But they sing about like kind of cute songs.
But they're a metal band or
Yeah.
rock band, so that's why. Okay. So before we finish this segment, we have one or two more songs we want to mention. When I talked about this to Taka, he said, "Oh wait, I have a song."
What's the song?
Tapeworm song.
Oh yeah. Why?
Just about tapeworm.
So it's a tapeworm, and they sing about how it eats a little bit after you eat a little bit.
No, I'm alive because of you. Thanks for feeding me. I'm taking your and taking some nutrition while you intake.
Ew. Why would they make this song? Gross.
Anything else that's in the lyrics, or just I'll eat it?
Is it a metal song?
No, it's not rock. It's country. While you are eating, taking some part It's not only about tapeworm. It's also some insect.
Okay.
It's like the beetle too. So in Japan, like having the beetle is common in the summer. So like people try to sell the Beatles in the shop, but it will die in like a few months. So it's about I'm just waiting someone buy, but I'm gonna die in a few months.
It's awful.
Is this a famous band or is it just a random song?
I don't know.
How do you know it?
When I was kid, like in elementary school.
Sounds traumatic.
So thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Interesting song.
What other song?
The Dango family song.
Dango, 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 dango.
What?
Okina kazoku. I don't know.
It's just Dango is a mochi, like rice cake ball on a stick, and you eat them in Japan very often. And it's a song about them, how people eat them and eat them and eat more.
Yeah, but it's just, I think it's just a song on the beginning of the anime, that particular
okay.
one. I don't know if it's like,
It's a really cute song.
It's just cute. And it's always talking about like, it talks about things like Grandpa Dango has like a big like eyebrows or something, and like Mama Dango is plump, or like I don't remember exactly, but it talks about all the parts of the family, like Baby Dango
I
is
didn't
cute.
know that.
Yeah, look at Clan
I already know
and
the
Dango family.
Dango Brothers.
Oh yeah, you showed me that one.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that one too. But this one. Oh, Daikotsu.
It's a fried dango.
Yeah, in a grill.
This is a kind dango.
Yasashi Andango is like the red bean.
Oh, okay.
Tsukimi dango is anything. Just dango.
But it talks about all the family members of the dango. It's so cute.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's the brand name of the week. Get ready, it will be weird.
Hi, sir. How can I help you today?
Oh, I came here and I can't take this anymore. I'm too good looking.
Sir, calm down. I'm here to help you, okay? I'm going to ask you some questions. Is that all right?
Yes.
So first question, do you catch more than 60 people a day staring at you longingly?
Yes.
And do you ever have this feeling like you're just way more good looking than everyone else?
Yes, all the time.
And do you think that you can never find a soulmate as captivating as yourself?
Oh, yes, exactly.
Sir, you came to the right place. We can help you.
At our salon, we'll undo your fairy tale looks. We'll make you a plain Jane. We'll throw you down the ugly tree and make sure you hit every single branch. Beauty reverse. We take all the beauty away.
Sir, the procedure's all finished. Do you like how you look?
Wow. I can't imagine that I can walk in public without any fear.
Yeah, no one's gonna be looking at that ugly mug. It's perfect.
This is an advert we saw on the train.
We showed them the picture of Beauty
Of
Reverse.
course! So as usual, there's a picture. So you should look at this picture. This might be the most ridiculous brand thing, advertising.
The girl who has surgeon or treatment.
Yeah, she was okay. She was fine.
The girl looks okay, borderline perfect, and she's like looking intensely into nowhere, and then above her head it says Beauty Reverse.
She's like,
What Chan did was like an intense smile of like approval, or I don't know how to describe what you just did. But
oh Are we explaining this advert to people?
No, yeah, sometimes I include it because...
Yeah, what Filip said.
Great.
Japanese video.
So this time on video and Japanese characters and stuff you can watch that's weird, I'd like to talk about Mameshibaaaa,
Mameshibaaaa.
which the word actually means Shiba Inu dog that has been intentionally bred to be smaller and as cute as possible.
Wow.
And also, so Shiba is like a race of dog, and Mame is also a bean.
Yes.
Edamame is a very popular snack in Japan. It's a green bean that looks like a soybean.
It's a green
It's soybean.
soybean.
Green soybean, okay. So there is a show that Chen found somehow somewhere
Yay.
and grabbed the hell out of me. I don't know why it's so weird. And
What? No, it's so cute.
and the
so
show
cute.
consists of animated, and I need your help with pronunciation. How do you say this word?
Animated interstitial. What? Of forming or occupying interstices. What the hell is an interstices? Interstices definition. An intervening space, especially a very small one.
Yep. So there's a very small break during a show, basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, like a commercial.
Like a commercial, but not a commercial. It's
Yeah.
just a different show.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Just a mini commercial.
Yes. So in this show, there is an animated character doing something normal, like eating usually something or talking to somebody.
They're usually eating edamame
Of
or
course,
mame.
of course.
Just mame.
What?
They're always, the people are always eating mame.
Mameshibaaaa eating.
No,
people
people
eating the beans.
eating mame. Just mame.
Okay.
Just different beans.
Okay.
So they pick up the bean with the chopsticks, and suddenly the bean pops out eyes and mouth. It becomes
Ears like a Mameshibaaaa, but it's a bean still.
and it says to the very surprised listener, and
All of a sudden asking question, do you know?
Yeah. And then they tell them a fun fact.
let's listen to an example.
Yeah. Here's some. Mameshibaaaa.
Mameshibaaaa.
いただきますあ、じゃーんねえ知ってるフランスではタンポポのことをおねしょって言う
What?
So what did he say?
Do you know in France how do you say like pee while you're sleeping?
You wet yourself.
Wet the
Wet
bed.
your-
Wet the bed.
Wet the bed.
Mm-hmm.
In Japanese, tampopo in French is wet yourself.
Dandelion or something?
Yeah.
So the word for dandelion in French is wet the bed. It's the same word.
Yes.
So there's like a fact like this, and the person who listened and was eating something is like, and he stops eating and looks disgusted. And that's the show.
But they have lots of these clips, and the little bean or dog bean always tells you some trivia that you don't want to know, and the people are like, yeah.
Yeah, so there are many clips, and there are many characters. It could be a pea, it could be a black bean, red bean.
All the beans. Sometimes it's natto. It's any bean.
Yep.
Sometimes it's any bean type thing, and it's always Mameshibaaaa.
And it's spawned a franchise and merchandise and everything. And there are many characters. So it's green pea, black pea, peanut, natto, edamame, red bean, sweet bean, coffee bean, cashew nut, jelly bean, chickpea, sour bean, boiled bean, chili bean, tiger bean,
Don't take
soybean,
breath.
pistachio,
Don't take
lentil,
breath.
fava bean, cocoa bean, black bean, white bean, almond, mung bean, pike bean, black eyed pea, cranberry bean, lima bean. What, I don't know any of these. But I will include a poster in the notes. So please have a look
The
at
date too?
Yeah.
Yes, any bean, any date, any snake. It always pops up. There's an amazing poster.
So cute.
So you should look at this poster in the episode notes. There is a bunch of beans looking
Look at
intensely.
Nato. He's all sweaty and sticky. Look at
Nato
him.
is
There's
sweating.
Nato.
There's a peanut like popping out of the shell.
What's the big one then?
This one?
I don't know.
Maybe mochi could be.
Maybe it's a mung bean.
It looks like tiger.
There's a
maybe-
tiger.
No, there's the tiger bean. Like
Tiger
his little
bean.
tiger stripes.
I am scared of this one.
This one's mouth.
There's one at the back on the right that's dark green and it's like, whoa, it's mouth of
I don't like these. They're so
Rotten
long.
bean.
Yeah. And this one's weird. The pistachio.
The pistachio looks like he has a helmet.
Yeah, it's weird.
How did you find it?
A long time ago, I came across it when I was when I was just looking at Japanese cultural stuff, and I found it by accident, and then I just watched them all. There's like 20 commercials.
It's giving trivia.
豆しば
Yeah.
いただきます。
Always trivia.
わー。入ってた。どうも。ねえ、知ってる？カバの汗ってピンク色なんだって。
People sweat.
Yeah. It's pink.
Did you know? People sweat pink sweat.
I like the one there's a boy that's studying and the bean starts talking and he covers up the bean.
Yeah, the mummy is cute.
There's one where they speak English, it's funny too.
There's.
It-
Do you know this one?
豆しば Hey, what's up? What's up? Wanna try some? Thanks.
Jerry beans.
Hello. Do you know koala's appendix is about 2 meter long? Oh my god. No thanks.
It's Japanese.
I love that one too. But when the boy is studying, I like that one because he just ignores it. I don't know. He's like sitting in his desk.
There's a samurai one.
No.
This is. You found it?
Yes.
豆しば夕食のスープよ。ありがとう。
精が出ますね。徹夜ですか？
はい。
Rents bean.
社長は脳が目玉より小さいから覚えたことをすぐ忘れるんだよ。
So what did you say?
I don't know.
The
what
duck's
it
brain is smaller than his eyeball, so that he
Wow.
will forget every second.
Okay. Can't stop watching this.
So funny.
So anyway, this spawned a franchise and you can buy like plush toys and it spread to America and France and it was popular on a French television show and then they also made a comic book series or manga series and it's called Mameshibaaaa on the Loose.
What? Oh my god.
And I love this picture. It's like flying in space. So you have to look at this picture. Let me tell you what it's all about. So there are 3 short stories. The first one is Journey to the Center of the Kitchen Sink.
Oh my god.
So basically, green peas and other beans perform their aquatics show around the kitchen sink. And pea number 3 goes down the sink. And the whole crowd is anxious and wonders what they can do to help the lost pea. The chickpea is attempting to become the leader of Mameshibaaaa and decides to start a search party. He is accompanied by edamame and the other 2 peas, and they use a noodle to go down the sink. And once they shimmy down to the sink, they accidentally break the noodle and fall into the depths of the kitchen sink and the sewer system, and that's where the adventure begins. Other stories include learning Japanese with jelly beans and Journey to the Kitchen Sink Part 2. with a surprise appearance of a mutant sewer chicken and other things. There's also other stories that came up later, like Pistachio with a Heart or Beans in Space. I have to read that one. Also, How to Be the Best with Cranberry Bean.
Oh, because cranberry being maybe cram school, so the best like cram and cranberry.
Maybe. This was released in 2011, so it's fairly old, but I hope you can find it somewhere. It looks amazing.
The thought of the day.
Before we look at the thought of the day, some quick feedback about the previous thought of the day. On episode 11, we talked about how tastes are arbitrary, and we got some replies. Somebody told me that they really hate onions, and other people told me they really hated tomatoes. So I want to quickly tell you what the listeners have wrote for us, or sent us. So, one person said that he hates onions, especially in large or uncooked pieces.
That's the best way!
It's fucking repulsive, to quote him. Just imagining the crunch makes me want to puke. And every freaking recipe has tons of it. So, like the Japanese curry. So he hates it and hates it. And I asked him, why does he think this happened? And he said that he hasn't been eating them since he remembered. So he can't remember why he stopped. But it might be because of the children's dining room at elementary school. Mm-hmm. It's because they force you to eat it. It's very common in Czech Republic that the teacher stands above you, and if you don't finish your plate, you can't leave. So
it's same in Japan too.
Okay. So basically, this guy was forced to eat all the onions every week, every day at the elementary school, and that's why he hated onions.
I hated tiny fish.
Why?
I hate it. I can eat but now, but in kindergarten, it's a lunchtime, and it's the same in Czech Republic. You can't leave. Like after the lunch, we can go to sleep.
Take a nap?
You can take a nap.
Yep.
Yeah. But if you don't finish it, you can't go take a nap. So I was sitting in a chair, and so there is typical Japanese snack: peanut and a tiny fish.
I've seen that.
So tiny fish, I like it now, but when I was a kid, I couldn't eat it because it's so hard.
So everybody has something like that.
Yeah.
So I wish that I wish people had the power to overcome it. So let me tell you one more story that we got from another listener who's written an essay, a fucking essay. Have you looked at this? Look at this text that we got from somebody.
Oh my god! 1 page.
Wow!
So I'm not gonna read all of it, but I'm just
Someone
going to.
is mad.
He gave us because he likes it raw.
So he hates tomatoes, and he's got a story called The Juicy Shock. So I'm going to try to abbreviate and tell you the most interesting parts. So basically, it all started when he was 11 years old, and he visited his grandmother's place, and his grandmother wouldn't waste anything. It's a very common Czech trait.
Like me.
And Taka and...
Mottai-nai.
Yeah. Mottai wake.
What does mottai mean?
Do not waste.
Yeah.
People
To tell
don't know.
to tell them, the listeners.
Oh, mottai wake is one of the ghosts.
Okay.
Hates wasting thing.
So mottai means to waste something.
Yes.
For be wasteful.
Be wasteful.
Adjective.
Be
Okay.
wasteful.
Alright.
Okay.
So don't waste shit, or the mottai ghost will come get you.
Yes.
Or this person's grandmother, who, when he came back from school and sat down and tried to watch television, the grandma asked him if he wanted to eat or something, and he said, "Of course, I'd love to." Yeah, so she produced a pair of inconspicuously looking tomatoes, and her question followed: "Do you want these cut?" "No, I'll eat them as they are," he answered, suspecting nothing. And undoubtedly making the biggest mistake he has made that day and maybe of his life. So he grabbed one of the washed tomatoes and took a nice juicy bite. The realization was immediate. Instead of a fresh, slightly sweet, lovely flavor, his mouth was transformed into a dumpster. His taste buds instantly declared red alert. And he imagined he had just eaten a rotten dog shit. So to his surprise, he didn't vomit outright. Achievement unlocked, maybe. But he knew that he shouldn't vomit at the place right there. So he tried to keep on a straight face and managed to just somehow go to the bathroom and then vomited furiously in the toilet. So it was awful. So it was a very traumatizing experience that followed him years and years. And he said his PTSD experience was triggered by just seeing a tomato. And eating a tomato has been an unthinkable feat for years and years. But luckily he's overcome it. And he said that it is possible to overcome it. You just have to forget the traumas and try to slowly develop a taste for it. But it's a really funny story. He also advised that joking about it helps a lot. So if you have some food that you hate, it helps to joke about it often and just try it as a joke with friends.
Let's try it. I really hate broccoli, so what can I say? How do you make a joke about it? Just tell a bad story, like something that happened or something?
Oh, in Japan.
Yeah?
It was like some popular student of the saddle of the bicycle.
It's popular to steal the saddle?
Instead of stealing it, planting the broccoli.
I've seen the picture!
What? Yeah, what show is this? We saw it on Nichijo. They like, she turned around and like, she had like bad luck on everything that day, and she turned around and someone had put the broccoli on her.
I don't know if like many saddles were stolen. So like empty saddle that someone placed.
Yeah, that's a wonderful how we make it to can joke about broccoli. Just
and broccoli, white broccoli, cauliflower.
So the next time that you see broccoli, just think about the more broccoli you eat, the less people will be miserable because they don't have shit to sit on. They don't have. So, all right, so thank you very much for the messages. If you have any comments or replies to the thought of the day, please send them to mindduckjapan@gmail.com. So this week on the thought of the day, I try not to be very timely nor comment on ongoing events because first of all, this podcast is never released on time, and second of all, I don't think people who listen to this want to worry about like current events, but everybody's talking about the coronavirus, and we discussed this that in Japan we have never seen people be so happy and cheerful and full of energy and delighted outside because they finally have a long holiday. So when you go,
we have golden week.
and now there's even golden week, so there's even more holiday. So it's
platinum week. I don't know. It's much more precious.
So the thought of the day is: after this all ends, will people come back to work and work less or more? So I sincerely hope that the Japanese people will see how easy it is to relax and hopefully work less, shorter hours, and demand from their employees and bosses to have more holiday because they can't go back and have this like abrupt shock of working so hard again after 2 months of holiday where they were like experiencing pure bliss. So what do you think? Do you think people will work less after coronavirus, or will it come back to the same old?
In my office, people say that 2 weeks ago we started working remotely, like working at home.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said I didn't know that we can work at home without any problems.
Yeah, it's a realization many people had.
Yeah.
They can very comfortably and very effectively work from home.
And some others say that I can sleep one more longer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't need to go to the office.
many people looked like they relaxed after they came to our lessons. After like 1 month break, the language school shortly opened. They looked so relaxed and full of energy.
Actually, I have a revelation. I'm not sure about whether or not, like, if people are too bored and then they'll go back, like, working like fiends, or if they're gonna demand that they get to work from home or work less. But for sure, during this holiday, whenever you all have like long holidays, especially this like quarantine, everyone grows out their facial hair. I think there's gonna be a facial hair uprising. like people will come in to finally be like, I want to have my mustache at work.
Yep.
Like I'm not shaving anymore. So I feel like facial hair will become a thing.
That's a cool revelation. I'm already doing it. I haven't shaved since we started having holiday. Okay, so that's today's thought of the day. Please send us your predictions on how you will think the things will turn out after people go back to work, and what you will do personally, if you will furiously start working non-stop, or if you will just demand beards and holidays.
Yeah.
Okay. So thanks so much for doing this again. I had a lot of fun this episode. I got to talk about all the bullshit I talked about in the first episodes, how I get lost and everything. So I hope it wasn't boring. And any final comments?
Tango, 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 daikazoku.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks a lot for doing this again. Bye!
Ciao.
Bye.
ナスからの
朝目が覚める布団の中で起きる布団は暖かくって布団は柔らかいだけど朝が起きなくちゃ布団から出てなんだこりゃ寒い布団から出られないそうだストーブつけて部屋を温めようひとまずスイッチつけに布団から出よう
There is one fish called chin chin.
God.
The baby is chin.
Hmm.
Next chin chin.
So in Japanese, chin is a penis or chin chin is a penis?
Chin chin is penis.
Okay.
And in Kansai area, it's called babatare.
Mhm.
Baba means poo.
Okay. So it grows up from poo to like something amazing, or what happens?
The babatare means like pooing everywhere.
Okay. Shit all over the place.
Yeah, she's overpraised. So if you fish and the poo is everywhere.
That's terrible.